experienced doing exits on this side. Right?
Yeah.
How's that been? How's the process been?
It's been great, really, because we're excited about the future, and being up there with Magic and Rob and talking about what they see, what I see, and then bringing the players in on that plan and asking them for their input and what they see and what they think we should do differently. It's exciting, and it's about the future, and it's about moving forward, and it's been a good day so far.
I've been asking this of all the players. The record wasn't what anybody wanted, but how was the season a success? What was successful about it for the Lakers?
To me, we had growth, and that's what we were looking for. We weren't going to win a championship this year. We all knew that. The message going into training camp wasn't about how many games we could win. It was about starting to build a foundation and starting to create winning habits and starting to create a winning culture, and offensively moving the ball, taking on ownership to become a defensive team, a good defensive team. And although the progress has been slow, and we still have a long way to go in a lot of that stuff, I can see it happening, and I can see players trying and giving the effort and buying in, which to me, as they grow older and experience the NBA more and get stronger, as long as they have that buy-in and they're willing to put in the effort, then we get to where we need to go.
So what degree have you gotten any sense from Rob and Magic of how much patience they want to have with this young core versus making whatever roster moves this summer?
I think their job is to constantly look to make the team better. My job is to constantly approach it as if the players we have are the players that we have going forward in the future. And I think that's the best way to make that happen. Now, we'll talk I'm sure if something comes up and there is the possibility of a trade, then we'll have to have serious conversations and long, detailed talks about what we all think is best for the team. But it's they're going to be up there putting together hypotheticals and seeing this and that, and I think they both believe in the young core that we have, and they believe that they with time will be able to get it done. But at the same time, they'll be looking for different ways to make the team more successful sooner rather than later. So it's kind of a fine line of balancing all that.
What did you learn today? Sorry. What did you learn over the course of this season about yourself as a coach and how you can improve going into next year?
Well, it's helpful to really get an understanding of everybody that we have as a team, who we are as a team, and what's most important for us to focus on. I think learning and having the experience of being, simplifying and getting very specific about certain details of what we need to get better at and how to implement that best, wasn't something I got a lot of experience with in Golden State, because in Golden State it was more about, all right, we have this great team. How do we bring out the best in them? How do we keep everything moving in the right direction? They already know. They know how to play. I mean, they know how to shoot and set screens and get each other open. So what's the best way to make that, a championship caliber team? So now it's more, all right, we got to drill the importance of running into screens and setting your feet and then rolling through that lane hard. So it's bringing it all back to the basics of the game, and then what is the best way to make all that happen and to implement that into practice and have it carry over to games, and yanking players out if they make mistakes as opposed to giving them 35 minutes of playing time and letting them have game experience. So all that stuff is obviously still a work in progress as I grow as a coach, and I I can't give you a specific answer on that because the season ended yesterday, and I've been in meetings all day today talking to the players about the future. So I still haven't really had much quiet time. But I definitely learned a lot this season, and will continue to be open-minded about, my progress as a coach.
All the guys who have come through here, the players have talked a lot about how much they like you, how much they enjoy playing for you, and all that kind of stuff. They suck it out. I mean, assuming they're not lying. How important is that, though, to you as a coach in terms of what you're trying to build? How much does that matter if they like you in that way?
It matters to me. I think liking me is just gonna kind of should happen with the type of culture we want to build. So that's why it's important to me. It's not important to me that they like me because I feel good about having more friends when I go home at the end of the night. But it's important that the culture we're building, that they enjoy being here. Like they want to come to work. They want to get better. They like the time that they spend in the gym. And that's what's important to me. And I think it's important that we provide that. So when we go on 8-game losing streaks, or we're in a film session and somebody's tired, I can point blank what we're doing wrong and be brutally honest with people, and them know that it's not a personal attack. That it's me coaching them and trying to make them better, and that we're not going to have any issues as far as trust or relationship down the road because of that. We have that type of open, bonded relationship that has been put in place this year with not just me but my whole staff, where the trust is there now, and there's no hidden agendas. It's just us here trying to make them better for themselves and for the team.
Luke, speaking of culture, go ahead.
Earlier today, Meta World, he shared with us that Magic told him probably will be back next season. Something they probably saw coming. But how difficult was it to be in the room and talk to Meta about that?
It's obviously tough. Meta's more than just a player I coach. He's a friend. He's an old teammate that we won a championship together. He's one of the Laker favorites, and he's, for me, having my first year coaching, he was a tremendous help all year in helping guide and mentor these young guys from the locker room. The thing going into the meeting, though, was out of respect for Meta. Let's be honest about where we're going, where we see ourselves going in the future. And if he wants to continue to play, it's not fair to not tell him that, and then wait till right before training camp. Let him know now, and then if he wants to, you start working with other teams or his agent, maybe he can see the other opportunities out. And we told him also that if those don't work out for him, we'd love to have him back in some, come back and talk to us. Let's see how we can have you be around and continue to help these young guys. But we want to give you the option and the opportunity to try to get those 20 years first before we get there.
We have time for two more guys. Luke, Brandon Ingram had mentioned about meeting with Kobe, about where Kobe was at 19 years of age with this franchise. Is that a decision mentally to kind of help him grow, or is that physically development?
I'm sorry, one more time.
The decision to have Brandon meet with Kobe and potentially work out with him rather this summer.
Is it
more? Do you see that more as helping Brandon's mental strength or physical development?
Honestly, both. There's not. Listen, I can coach Brandon. I can't. Brandon's a much better basketball player than I was. There's certain players that need guidance from certain type of players, and in my opinion, Brandon's gonna be one of those players that. We're obviously drill him on the fundamentals and the way to play and the angles to look for, but he can learn a lot from someone like Kobe that's been through it and has a certain set of skill at a level that is, much higher than me or anyone on our staff had. So I think, one, it'll be good for him to. It would be great if they could get in a gym together and Kobe could show him some of the drills and the amount of time he spent just on the basic catching with 2 pivot foot, inside pivot, outside pivot, all those simple things that he spent hours and hours on. That would be great. And then mentally, all this pressure and responsibility that comes with being a star in LA, I think would be another thing that Brandon could really gain a lot of knowledge and value from spending time with Kobe.
Luke, I know you haven't had much time for this season, literally ended last night, but with Magic and Pelinka figuring out the staff, what else, development, all that stuff, what's the time frame for that? And do you have an outlook as to how you want to take the whole franchise in this direction now?
I'm sorry.
Well, just with so front office staff, developmental staff, coaching staff, all of these things. Have you already been talking to Magic and Pelinka about making all that move?
Well, a little bit. I've wanted to focus on finishing the season. They've agreed that me, coaching and being with the team, finishing what we need to do from our perspective is what's most important. So when I've been in town and meetings have happened, then I'll sit in on them for sure. But my 99% of my time has gone to finishing up this season, and now that it's done, and we'll eventually get finished with the exit interviews, we'll have time to sit down with them and really get on the same page and get brought up to speed with where we're at.